Welcome to Commander's Comments. I'm the producer, Harrison Daws, and I'm about to be joined by Ron Kennedy and our Lieutenant Commander in Chief, Tony Griffin.
Thank you, Harrison. We appreciate it. Let me explain to everyone. You see, I don't have the Commander-in-Chief Gigo on. My twin brother asked me to fill in for him tonight because he's up in Missouri helping the folks up there who's in a fight to defend their Confederate monument. They're in Liberty City, Missouri. So he asked me, and as past Chief of Heritage Operation and I've done these before with him to sort of be the MC of tonight's Commander's Comment. And he gave me a list of things to talk about because I think he understands how Kennedys tend to take over the microphone and just go off on a tangent. But anyway, he gave me a list. I'm gonna try my best just to follow his list of things he wanted to tell the Confederation about. And of course, to make this an official Commander's Comment, we asked Lieutenant Commander-in-Chief Tony Griffin to be with us tonight. I'm going to ask him to bring us up to date on some things as we go through. So, and we also had hoped to have Paul Graham, the Chief of Heritage Operations. He's in South Carolina. I think he's having some technical difficulties. If he gets on, Harrison, if he gets on, go ahead and bring him on. But we're going to move right ahead. And we also, of course, have Harrison Daws, who's the Deputy Chief of Heritage Operations, to help us out tonight. So first of all, Commander-in-Chief Kennedy wanted me to review the damages related to the recent hurricane. And you know, it's been in all the news, so everybody knows about it. But we just want to concentrate on that. We still need to donate to the SCV Disaster Relief Fund. It's very important. I understand there's a few more systems out in the Atlantic that may get into the Gulf, and so it may follow the same track. It may come to a different track. But this particular hurricane bringing so much flooding into the mountainous areas of the South has really created more damage than we were expecting in that part of the country. And I don't want to overlook the fact that the first people to be hit by this disaster were the folks in Florida. And so we need to make sure that we're doing everything we can to get relief down to the folks in Florida. They took the wind out of the sail of that hurricane. Unfortunately, they couldn't squeeze all the water out of it. And that went on up into Georgia, South Carolina, North Carolina, Virginia, parts of Tennessee, creating some major damage. But again, remember, folks, and if Roy Hudson is on the SCV chat, maybe he can bring us up to date in the chat line how things are going on disaster relief there in Florida. So let's make sure that we do our best to get some additional funding into the disaster relief fund. Now, an individual, for instance, if I had received damage and I needed some relief, some help from the SCV, the way I get that is not to call headquarters, because obviously that won't work, but you contact your division commander. The division commander will verify the need and pass that information on to HQ. So make sure that brigade commanders, division commanders, camp commanders, make sure. Oh, good. Danny. I'm going to have to get Harrison to help me pronounce Danny's last name. Is it Honnoll? Honnoll? I don't know, but Donald insulted the man by messing up his last name, so his twin brother's going to do just the same. But he's the chairman of the Disaster Relief Committee. He's in Jonesboro, Arkansas. There's his cell phone. There's his email information. but make sure that you as an individual, a camp member, you need some help, would like to have some help, financial help, make that request through your division commander, and your division commander then will send it on to, once he verifies that, yes, this is an SCV member, yes, he has suffered damage, he'll get it on to Danny, and then we can get it to the headquarters to issue a check to you. Very, very important. Make sure you pass the division commanders, brigade commanders, camp commanders. Please pass that information on. More information about disaster relief can be found on the SCV website under Forms and Documents. So you go to the scv.org, go to Forms and Documents, look down the tab for Relief Fund SOP, Standard Operating Procedures, and you can get that information. Now, I don't know how many people, let's see, Ron, several brigades in Florida are putting together relief projects. Great. So, Roy, keep us advised there. And I know, and we'll talk about this a little later, but we've got Mississippi's doing something. I get Moose to talk about that, and has asked Louisiana to participate in it. I think if you're in lower Alabama, lower Mississippi, South Louisiana, it'd be easier to get relief to Florida than it will to get way up to Lexington, Virginia, for instance. And so we're the closest there, but I'm gonna leave that to y'all to figure out. Now, one thing and I hope that this problem with our website will be corrected before my twin brother's administration is out, because you go on it and you get this little circle thing, think, and it just takes it forever. We really need to have a more robust website. And that's one of the reasons we're pushing the 21st century Confederate heroes, so we can get rid of that debt and get some better website, even to the point where we could post videos from our own server, as it were. But that's another discussion that Donald didn't have on the list here, and I've already deviated from the commander-in-chief's list here. Can you imagine that, Tony?
No.
Also another item, and we'll mention the 21st century Confederate heroes effort. It is really moving forward rapidly. People have asked when the neck ribbons are going to be ready. I know that the ribbons I think they've already gotten to headquarters. The metal that goes to them, they're in the process of being produced. And as soon as they get there, and I've been bugging poor past Commander-in-Chief Jason Brochures, Donald and I both, about this, but as soon as they get there, they'll put them together and have them ready. So hopefully it's coming real soon, folks. So just hang in there. We're going to get them to you as soon as we can get the medals and the ribbons and join together. One thing I want to say about and Donald asked me to say this about the 21st century Confederate heroes. We're asking people those who can afford it, those who can find who have the financial resources or the credit line that they can put up $1,000 to join this heroes effort. We're looking for 1,500 pro-Confederate people, where you're a SCV member or not. We're looking for 1,500 that'll put up the $1,000. We can get rid of this bank debt, the mortgage that's on the museum, and we can get Forrest Plaza completed and Forrest back up on his the pedestal where he belongs. Now, I've been to several camp meetings, and I've had some folks who are retirees. They're living on Social Security, limited income. And they say, why did y'all make it so expensive? But the point is, we're trying to get rid of this debt as fast as we can. But you don't have to come up with $1,000 up front. If you want to put it on an easy payment plan, you can do that. if even that, you say, well, I can't afford that. And a lot of people can't. If you're living on Social Security, especially with inflation as bad as it is, you don't have a lot of discretionary funds. But you can still get with your camp and say, look, let's get together and raise $1,000. I'm suggesting to my camp that we have a camp yard sale. I mean, I've got a trailer that I bought, paid, about $500 for during Katrina. I used it. Katrina was 2005. It's been sitting in the shed ever since. I'm going to pull that sucker out, clean it up, get the title renewed on it, and put it in the yard sale. I bet I could get $100 out of it. That's a tenth of the money that we need. But clear out your attic, a lot of stuff that just have a yard sale and raise the money. However you want to do your fundraising, have your camp raise the money. If every camp, we have over 800 camps. If every camp would do this, well, we'd be there because we're getting very close to there already. That would push us over the top overnight. So, I realize not everybody can come. An organization's got about close to 30,000 members. I'm sure not everyone can do it. I know of at least 3 different individuals who have given well over $10,000 over the past several years, lump sum, wrote a check for it. I couldn't do that. Now, Tony might be able to do it, but I can't do it. I don't have that kind of money, but I'm proud and I'm happy for those who will. I celebrate them. I encourage them, but I don't feel bad that I can't do it because I know I can't do it. I can give 100, 1,000. I already done my 1,000. But, look at this, folks, like a football team. In high school, say you're in a high school that's got 1,000 students. Well, out of that 1,000 students, the football team, you may only have 20, 25 members of the football team. Not everybody can play football. Donald and I would have loved to play football, but we would have been kicked around worse than the football itself if we tried to go out on the field. Not everybody in the school can play football, but we celebrate those who can. And that football team, when it wins, it's not winning for the team. It is, but it's winning for more. It's winning for the whole school. Those of us in the stadium, we cheer, we get excited that our team won. Well, the 21st Century Confederate Heroes, that's our team to get rid of this debt so we can do the things that we want to do. That is, have a massive public relations effort in order to promote the SCV. So just think about it like that. I know camp commanders and brigade commander, division commander, you've probably had people say, oh, well, y'all just put that too high. I can't participate. Well, number one, yes, you can. You don't have to give the whole 1,000 at one time. If you can't do it at all, at least get with your camp and help your camp. You be the catalyst to get your camp to raise $1,000. Again, if we had all 800 and something camps join up, we'd be over the top. So there's always ways that you can participate in the 21st Century Confederate Heroes. All right, that's enough about money. What about upcoming events? He says, let's see, October the 12th at headquarters GEC meeting. That's the General Executive Council meeting. Every SCV member may attend these meetings as far as space will allow. Now, it's in the conference room in the museum, so even if 100 members showed up, we wouldn't be able to set them all. But it is open to members to sit in on, unless we go into executive session. I say we. I'm no longer a part. They kick me out too. I can't sit in on the executive session either anymore. So they'll kick me out. My twin brother will talk ugly things about me, and everything that's said in executive session has to stay in executive session. But so anyway, October the 12th, if you're up in the Columbia area, come by the GEC, talk to your councilman, your Lieutenant Commander in Chief will be there. Your Commander in Chief will be there. And the executive directors. I think even Harrison Daws may be there that day. So he's not required to attend, but I understood that he might be coming in. Let's see. The second thing we've got. Also, this is really neat. On October the 12th, we'll have the classic car display there on the grounds of Elm Springs. And that brings in just a tremendous amount of people who would ordinarily never come to the Confederate Museum. I just think that's a wonderful way to use our facilities. And again, once we get this debt paid off and we've got some discretionary funds to use, we're going to be doing something like this every weekend. But that means we've got to be able to hire enough staff to staff it over the weekends. But this is something that we can really bring in people from the outside, and you'll see some classic cars that Donald and I remember riding around in when we were kids. You know, they had that crank on front you had to crank it up with. Well, not quite that bad, but almost. But so come by and see the classic cars, see the museum, and the GEC will be there on October the 12th. Now, November the 16th. November the 16th is a Confederate Legion training session. It's the first training session. It's going to be held at Jefferson Davis's last home and Presidential Library, Beauvoir in Gulfport, really Biloxi, Mississippi. It's really cheek by jowl, Gulfport, but it is, I believe, officially, and Harrison, you can correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe it's officially in Biloxi, Mississippi. You will, if you got your Confederate Legion newsletter, there's a lot of information in there. If you did not receive a constant contact notice about the availability of the Confederate Legion newsletter, go to KennedyTwins.com. KennedyTwins.com. When the landing page comes up, of course, you'll see our books and all, but off to the left, the column, there's a red column, and it has the link to the newsletter. You can just click on that. Now, why are we using the Kennedy Twins website? Well, that's because it's a lot quicker and a lot easier than using our Confederate Legion website. I'm sorry, as soon as we get our website up and running better, we will be able to post it on the Confederate Legion website. But if you didn't get the Confederate Legion newsletter, it has information about the training session. We also are planning a training session in Elm Springs in March. And in that newsletter, you'll see we're soliciting folks in the Army of Northern Virginia and even in the Army of Trans-Mississippi would love to do a training session with Texas, Arkansas, Louisiana. Of course, a lot of the Louisiana folks will come over to Biloxi, especially in South Louisiana, Central Louisiana, Arkansas, Oklahoma, Missouri, and the Trans-Mississippi, but also Army of Northern Virginia. If there's a place where we can hold it, please get a hold of us. If there's a camp that would like to host it, let us know. It'll be a great training session. We have the agenda in the Confederate Legion newsletter. Everybody that attends will get a free copy of the Confederate Legion handbook. It's a little 63-page handbook. Matter of fact, my gracious, on page 50, there's a picture of Tony Griffin. My goodness, in Lexington, all wrapped up. It was cold that day, but there's you remember it well, yeah. But there's quite a few photographs in here. There's even one with the April is Confederate History and Heritage billboard, a picture of that. And I'm going to get Tony to talk about that in a little while. There's also a picture. I don't know if you can see that, Harrison, but that top picture up there, that's Connor and Harrison on SEV chat. So we're really talking about how the Confederate Legionnaires people who joined the Confederate Legion, how you can be the catalyst for helping us with this massive PR campaign that's going to make the local SCV camps well known, well recognized, and our beliefs and our heritage honored once again at the local level, where our politicians will protect our heritage. And so what we'll do is we'll head off the claim or the call to get rid of that monument, because we will have the public support behind us. That's the whole idea of the Confederate Legion training session. So I encourage you to go to www.kennedytwins.com. At the landing page, look on the left side, the column in red, you'll see the Confederate Legion newsletter. Click on that, download it, and read it. Let's see. What else did my twin brother want me to talk about? Upcoming events. Oh, the tour of homes in Columbia, Tennessee, December the 12th at Elm Springs. The museum will be open. So mark that on your calendar. That tour of homes is real. I haven't had a chance to make it. I don't know, Moose, if you've been able to make the tour of homes up there in Columbia, but I understand it's a great tour. Elm Springs is on the tour, so that'll be a great event. Now, I don't know if any of y'all have been keeping up with it or not, but there's I think there's an election coming up in November. I'm not sure. And as part of our patriotic duty, we want to put out some ads encouraging our fellow Southerners, regardless of your political affiliation, but in a patriotic manner, to go out and vote. We're not saying who to vote for, who to vote against. We're just saying it's your patriotic duty to go out and vote. And Moose, Harrison, do you have that video? We have two ads. We have a video that you can post on social media, and we also have the MP drive that you can download for a 30-second radio spot ad. Moose, play that for us.
Yes, sir.
The Sons of Confederate Veterans, America's oldest continuously operating veterans organization, encourages all Americans to perform their patriotic duty and coming election. Our republic depends upon your involvement. From the Sons of Confederate Veterans, be a patriot. Vote.
All right. Thank you, Moose. I appreciate that. Moose, Harrison, you'll always be Moose, Harrison.
Yeah.
We're supposed to be formal when you have your gigo on, but we just can't quite make it. But this video, you can, is that on the link, URL link? Is that on the SCV chat webpage?
Yes, sir. So you can go to YouTube and go see the video. You can go to scvchat.com, click news. You can also see the video there. I will be adding it to the homepage as well to get this video out there, to tell people to get out and vote from the Sons of Confederate Veterans, as well as I believe it's on y'all's newsletter as well, the link.
Right. So the link is there so you can click on that, copy the link, paste it to your Facebook, if you have a YouTube channel, your camp has a YouTube channel, whatever social media you have, get this video out. And we did the audio, and this video for some reason jumps around a lot or has hesitation, but the one that's on that when I ran it, it was very smooth.
That's the on the show. So sometimes when I'm sharing a video, it lags behind, but the video itself on our YouTube is perfectly fine. It doesn't jump or anything, like you said, Mr. Kennedy. So nothing to worry about when y'all share it out or anything. it should be working perfectly fine.
Great. Well, we also have the 30-second audio of this. Now you can download that. It's on the Confederate Legion website. If you're having trouble getting it, email me, JRK. Do you have my email address that you can put up?
I have the Confederate Legions.
Well, put that one up. Email the Confederate Legion, and we'll get you. Make sure you have the ability to download that. Is it MP4 file or whatever it is, the audio file, and you can then take that to your or send that to your local radio station. Now, here's an important thing. We all like, or we used to like, or some of us still like talk radio. Well, we want this. We want local camps to go out and find country and western, classic rock stations, no hip hop type of stations, but stations that people would listen to that wouldn't necessarily listen to the talk radio. And get this on those radio stations. It's very important. And the reason is that what we want to do is, number one, we want to tell the world who we are. We want to tell the world that we are a patriotic organization. We want to tell the world we're the oldest operating veterans organization. So the local politicians will hear this. It'll be the talk of your community. You know, we're not endorsing any right, left, middle. We're not endorsing Republican, Democrat, Libertarian, Green Party, or whatever. We're merely saying that a patriot would always move to vote in this election. And we're going to put, we finally got our Chief of Heritage Operation on, Paul. Good to have you on board, Paul.
Good to see y'all.
All right. But at any rate, get this out because the politicians will hear about it. And that is very, very important. They know that we're active in the local community. Now, the Chief of Heritage Operation doesn't know this yet, so he may pass out when I tell him this.
Well,
I haven't had a chance.
There's two things I do know, but I'm waiting to hear what you have to tell me.
All right, but the Sons of the Confederate Legion will match up to $200 any camp. They'll go out and find a radio station to run these ads on. So if your local camp has $100 discretionary fund and you want to run some ads on your local country and western classic rock station, if you don't have anything else, talk radio, but talk radio really isn't as impactful for this ad as your classic rock would be or your country and western station would be. But we'll match up to $200 of whatever. So we can, if you raise 100, we'll give you 100. If you raise 200, we'll give you 200 until the money's gone, folks. I mean, there's a limited amount of money there, but we'll run it first come, first serve. So get busy in your local camps and let's get these radio ads out before the election. All right. I think I've pretty well beat that one to death. Moose, we're at 7:30 and I've been filibustering this whole time. I wanted to ask Lieutenant Commander in Chief Tony Griffin if he could bring us up to date on what's going on in Virginia as far as the disaster. First, were y'all impacted with the disaster as a state? And what are y'all doing to raise some funds and help with the disaster relief?
Well, first off, let me say I apologize for not being dressed. We're on a working weekend, working the state fair and working in Oakwood Cemetery. So I'm not staying at home, so no geek off for me today. But and I'd also like to say too that I will be hand delivering my check for the 21st Century Heroes at the GEC meeting here next week. So that's I'm encourage everybody to do that. They can also. And for disaster relief, we all heard what happened in Florida, South Georgia, as you mentioned earlier, and North Carolina and East Tennessee. They're getting all the attention. Well, I didn't even realize until a couple of days ago that parts of southwestern Virginia got slammed pretty good with flooding and other issues going on, power outages, and they're having to boil water in places. Some places got flooded out also. So up here in Virginia, the first thing we started with was Jamie Graham called me last week, and we jumped on it right away trying to figure out what to do. And I told him I knew who to call in Virginia. So I made the phone calls up here, and of course it's SCV members, but they're Metcalf guys too, and we're all working together. So we have a warehouse in Petersburg area, Colonial Heights area up here in Virginia that's collecting and is going to be shipping out here soon. We have a collection area at Lee Jackson Memorial Park, and they're collecting this Sunday, filling the trailer. They're having a work day out there. We have Tracy Clary's camp, the old Brunswick camp in Brunswick County, is collecting, and they'll be shipping a big trailer full here soon. Down here in Tidewater, Virginia, we have a couple of groups collecting. 13th Virginia Mechanized Cavalry Camps collecting with help from the OCR and the 1st Brigade, and they are going to be shipping out probably tomorrow, taking some stuff out. And my camp, we started collecting, and just at our meeting Tuesday night, we got a lot of products, and we collected almost $600 in donations. Good. And that right there is going directly to the affected areas in the 6th Brigade in Virginia. Everything else is going wherever we can send it to. A lot of it's going down. Thankfully, Kevin Stone, North Carolina Division Commander, and he has a store down there, and they're using that as a collection area for all this stuff coming in, and it'll be distributed from there. So, and Jamie Graham and the South Carolina Division and Army of Northern Virginia Commander, they got a disaster relief team, and they've already, I think, started hauling their loads. So everybody's doing a good job up here, collected a lot of stuff already. Of course, these people are going to need it probably for weeks, months, who knows how long it's going to take. But we encourage everybody that can to donate anything, time, effort, money, goods. I know it's getting harder to find the toilet paper and paper towels now with the strike going on with the longshoremen up here. Everybody went nuts earlier this week, and they just went down here. They ransacked the stores and got everything. It was like COVID all over again. But hopefully that won't last too long, and we'll be able to get this stuff, at least financially, get this money going, donating to the SCV. And we have a program just like the National does for the Relief and Welfare Fund, that we also provide $500 to qualifying members. And this is a highly qualifying event that's happened now with a lot of these men. And hopefully that we don't have too many of our members, our compatriots, affected by this. But if they are, we definitely need them to get applied for these funds so they can help out with this stuff. It's I can't. It just boggles the mind. I can't even think about it. What's going on down there? You know, being a Floridian myself and growing up in Florida, we had hurricanes all the time. We know what happens with hurricanes in Florida, and it's expected. We didn't expect this to happen in western North Carolina, eastern Tennessee, and southwestern Virginia. The amount of rain that got dumped and the flooding is just unbelievable what's happened. And please, anybody that can help, please donate. So that's what's going on with that up here right now.
Thank you very much, Lieutenant Commander in Chief Tony Griffin. I'm going to ask Paul Graham. Paul, how's things going in Columbia, South Carolina area? Are y'all affected any, or?
It's been a mixed bag here in the Middlelands where I'm at. Some of the smaller towns got hit harder, more to the northeast of the state. But we've got power back on in the Midlands. Mostly everyone has their power back on in the Midlands. That was the big thing. Of course, trees are everywhere and branches are everywhere. But I think they clocked it at the airport, which is less than 2 miles from my house at 61 mile per hour wind through Columbia, and that's not something we're used to.
No.
And once the soil got wet, the trees, the roots of the trees, weren't holding. Deep roots. We need deep roots.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad that you got electricity back on, and my heart goes out to everyone. See, I don't sympathize with folks in this disaster. I empathize, because I've gone here in South Louisiana. We go through, Florida. God love them. They get the Gulf Coast attack, but they also can get it from the Atlantic when it comes up the Atlantic. So Florida's really stuck out in Hurricane Central, but it seems like South Louisiana and Texas, Galveston area, Brownsville area tends to get a lot of hurricanes. During Katrina, I was without electricity for about 3 weeks, and getting gas to keep our generators going was difficult. And so I empathize, and anything we can do to help our fellow SCV members and fellow Southerners out, let's do it. Moose, do you want to take a quick Pop-Tart break, or do you have one ready, or you want to keep going?
Yes, sir. We can take a Pop-Tart break real quick. You asked earlier in the show, and I wanted to get a confirmation that the Mississippi Division has individuals in camp stepping up to help with the relief fund, because like you said, with Katrina, we know it pretty well ourselves. I was just 6 years old when Katrina hit, but it is still
make me feel old.
Still a distinct memory. It for those who don't know, I'm a farmer, and we're still, it's 2024, almost 2025, 20 years after Katrina, and my farm is still suffering some effects from Katrina. And I know my father, who was living in northern Mississippi working at the time, when he drove down there to he had trouble getting down there because he almost ran out of gas.
Yeah.
And so we sympathize, and we are blessed the Mississippi Division have camps and individuals stepping up to donate to the relief fund and donate supplies.
All right, let's do a quick Pop-Tart break, and then we're going to finish up. I'm going to talk a little bit about April Confederate History Month. I'm going to ask Lieutenant Commander Tony Griffin to tell us about their successful efforts with the billboard campaign in Virginia, and I want to try to model that. I say I'm speaking as if I'm channeling my identical twin brother. He wants to mimic that and try to tag on to what the Virginia Division has been so successful with. So let's go with the Pop-Tart break right quick.
Yes, sir. And just a reminder to everybody that tonight's Pop-Tart break is, of course, sponsored by Creative Cockades. If you want a historically accurate cockade at a reasonable price, go to creativecockades.company. And, of course, the SCV Chat Patreon, keeping us on the air so we can reclaim the narrative 1 week at a time.
There is a place nestled in the rolling farmland of southern Middle Tennessee. A home constructed in 1837, nearly lost to the ravages of war. Saved by a servant and a Confederate general. A place where families loved and lost. If walls could talk, what stories could be told? If a place, a home, can feel love, loss, pain, surely this is one of those places. Nearby is a more recent structure, and inside are the stories of heroes and heroines, stories of battles won and lost, stories of sacrifices made by the people of its native soil. A place that will tell the true and complete story of the Southland and the war fought for its freedom. From the causes that led to the conflict to the modern-day struggles to protect Southern history. Historic Elm Springs and the Confederate Museum at Elm Springs are the general headquarters for the Sons of Confederate Veterans. A place where the story of the Southland and its historic struggle is preserved and told. Come and discover your history.
All right. Thank you, Harrison. We try to be so formal, and I'm still going to call him Moose every chance I get because I just can't remember everything. I did see that someone, it was an Al, I didn't see his last name, put in the comments that when you go to these radio stations, see if they also offer public service announcement that we can, since this is not promoting anything, you may be able to get them run it for free. Free is always good, but if they run it free, they run it at their leisure. It may be not the best time, the drive time or whatever. But anyway, that's Al. Thank you very much. That's a great comment there and a reminder for us all. Okay, folks, we got, believe it or not, it's going to be April 2025 before we know it. And one of the things we want to do in April, and again, remember, I'm channeling my identical twin brother, the commander-in-chief. When I say we want to do, we want to try to work out a billboards across the entire South during Confederate History Month. And I'm going to get Tony, Lieutenant Commander-in-Chief Tony Griffin. I'm going to get him to talk about the great success they have. And by the way, I've already mentioned, I've got a picture in this Confederate Legion handbook of the wonderful ad billboard. I think this was the second year y'all did this. I don't know if I can get that in there, but that's the billboard. Can you see it? Is that the second year you did it, Tony? You can't see it.
Repeat that again. You were breaking up on me.
Oh, okay. Is that the billboard? That's the second year you ran. That was isn't it?
Yeah, that was this past April's. Yes. In
All
fact,
right.
There's still one of those that are up.
Oh, good. But, and they had.
Yeah, we've got.
I'm going to get you to talk about that in just a minute because you did not only billboards, you did some banners and other things too during Confederate History Month in April. I want to try to mimic that across the South. Now, it probably costs around $10,000 to $15,000 to put up, up to 10 billboards across the state of Louisiana, for instance. Well, the state of Louisiana division may not have $10,000 or $15,000. So are we going to just say, oh, well, we can't do it? No, you can do one. Every division can do at least one. Now, here's the thing. I think we can do more than one in Louisiana. But if all we did was one in Baton Rouge, we're going to go to Baton Rouge and we're going to take a picture of it. And every camp in Louisiana, we're going to ask every camp in Louisiana to write up a little byline on that picture and say, this is Confederate History Month. The Sons of Confederate Veterans are running these billboards for the month of April, all in every southern state. And we're asking you as an elected official to support Confederate, our Confederate heritage. And email that to every moderate to conservative elected official in the state. One billboard, and you can make it look like you don't have to say this is the only one we got in Louisiana, let them figure that out for themselves, but one billboard. And if all the camps will do their duty, and that's one of the things we'll be talking about in November, if every camp will do their duty, this can be a great opportunity to win the support of the public and especially the elected officials. I call social media a force multiplier. So, when you go out and you clean up a tombstone, for instance, and you take a picture of it and you post that on your social media, that's all right. That's good. Please post it. But if you'll take a copy of that, a digital copy, and send it to every elected official, with a quick, short byline, that's a force multiplier. Now you're not depending on them reading that in the newspaper, or maybe the newspaper won't even carry your news release. That's all right. We did an end run around them. Say we'll send it to the people we want to influence. This is something that we've got to be very active in doing. And this April, I think we can have Mississippi, Louisiana do almost as much as Virginia. It's going to be hard for us to do what Tony did in Virginia, but I believe we can do it. What do you think, Paul? You think we can do it?
I know we can. It's a forced. It's a classic forced move. Don't you think? There's not as many as you think, but you can make it look that way.
Make it look like that. That's right. Tony, would you tell us about how y'all managed to pull off that the billboard campaign, the banners, and what kind of results have you seen from it?
We, of course, we started last year, April last year, with our billboard campaign, and we contacted the billboard company, Lamar, the one we were using, to see what kind of deal we could get with billboards across the state. Well, they gave us 7 billboards, and not all of them in major metropolitan areas. A lot of them in rural areas, but we got 7 of them put up, and we only had to spend about $2,550 to get that done. That was our first try at it, and the program seemed to work good. We got compliments on it, and of course, the Kennedy brothers ran it all the time. They loved talking about it when we first started. And so, again, we started in January for Stonewall Jackson's 200th birthday. We put up those 7 billboards again for the same amount, about $2,550. But we also added one in Lexington, Virginia, that cost a little bit more. It was a 24/7 lit billboard, but it was right on the main drag going into Lexington. And that one stayed up because no one rented it. It stayed up for 6 months.
Wow. That's great.
We lost him.
Oh, well, we lost him. But so, Paul, you're the new chief of heritage operation. What do you think about the idea of doing a massive effort across the South to try to, and include in that the
Can y'all hear me?
The what? I'm sorry.
Can't hear me now?
The force multiplier of the.
Oh, well, I think that it can absolutely be done. As I'm sitting here, I'm thinking of 2 or 3 places. We know where our friends are, and so it's not going to be that difficult to find a place. The question is going to be whether or not the people who own the billboards are going to cooperate with us, but there's lots of them around here, so I'm sure that we'll be able to find some. The blue collar areas, in particular, hardworking folks, they're the ones who need it. They have no one representing them anywhere, politically or socially. I've never really seen such a it's been going on for a long time, and so we almost don't make a big deal out of it. But the cancellation and cultural genocide of the South is a serious matter, and people resent it. Even people who are not fully conscious of their Confederate identity know that something's wrong.
Right.
They know that something's wrong. They think that there's some sort of national solution. There is not. There's only one solution, and that is to reclaim your own people. And this is one way you can do it, just to get them to think about it.
That's right.
Just to get them to think about it.
We got our Lieutenant Commander in Chief back online. Tell us about your yard signs and your banners that you had as well.
All right. Can y'all hear me now?
Yeah.
Okay, great. Sorry for the technical difficulties here. Like I said, I'm not at home, and it's we're struggling here with the data and the Wi-Fi. But I was talking about the Stonewall Jackson signs. That was a great thing, and we had those there. And that one in Lexington stayed up forever. Well, this past April, the one you just showed in the booklet there, That's the one we did for this April's Confederate History and Heritage Month, and 7 more signs. And we also had those made available as banners for that the camps could buy, and any individuals that wanted to buy them for approximately $75 to $100. And we had those posted. A lot of people were putting them in the yards on the major throughways and stuff. So we'd be driving up 460 here in Virginia, and you see these banners on the side of the road, and that's just as effective as the billboards.
Yep. But
everybody was using them in their fairs. In fact, we just had that one that you showed. That is the backdrop. We got 4. I think we got 4 of the actual billboards. They took down and saved them for us. It's like a nice vinyl, like a tarp thing. And that's our backdrop at our booths at the State Fair this year.
Right on.
But it's been a excellent program, and the cost is negligible when you think about it. If you go on the roads these days, a lot of these billboards are vacant.
Yep.
There's nothing on them, and you might be able to get a deal with it. And in the 1st Brigade, in the 10th Brigade, I'm in the 10th Brigade, but 1st Brigade joins us. We went together this time for next April for a billboard that was costing, I think it was $4,160. We got the 10 camps that are affected where we're going to put this billboard. It's another 24/7 lit billboard, but it's on a major highway, right at a bridge, and it's going to be awesome. The 10 camps are going to get all kinds of exposure out of this. Each camp, $416, but the division offers a 50% back up to $1,000 per brigade. So each camp's going to get $200 back off their investment in this billboard. So you're right, Ron. Every division can do this. They can do at least one. The brigades can do it themselves if they want to do it. Camps can do it. If they got a billboard in their area, there's no reason why we can't plaster these things all over the country.
I'm looking forward to it, and I'm going to tell you, I've just been very impressed with with Virginia's work. Y'all have led the way, and I know you and all your other folks, Clary, have been working out. And I can't start naming it because I'm going to miss people, but the whole division up there have worked hard to get this going and keep it going, and it's been an inspiration to all of us. Y'all are doing that. We can do this. SEV chat. Look around the Confederation. You got Connor and Harrison working, doing their thing. All us Kennedys do is we write books, and all Shotwell and Paul does is publish Kennedy books, it looks like. But we all are in this fight doing our own unique thing. All right, let's see. There's one other thing, and let's see. Oh, wait, I got 6 minutes left. So I got 2 things. One is a reminder, but the 5th thing, Commander-in-Chief Kennedy, my twin brother, he's working up a census of all new Confederate monuments that's been put up since. Let me see does somebody remember the date when that horrible scallywag governor put the blame on the Confederacy for the shooting in Charleston?
That was the summer of 2015.
All right, December. Was it December?
No, the summer. So it was June. It was June of 2015.
All right. We want to know since June of 2015, because that's when the I call them neo-Marxists, the people that want to deconstruct Western Christian civilization. They saw us as a low-hanging fruit, and they went after it. And a lot of our wobbly politicians caved into it. Pathetic. But I'm not going to get off on a tangent on that. But we want now to know how many new monuments have we put up since then, because I know there's a lot of new monuments that's gone up. Also, how many old monuments that was removed, quote removed, was relocated and put in a better position. I know, and I'm going to make a challenge to the Taylor camp there in Shreveport, Louisiana, and I'm going to challenge this to every other camp that had, because they worked real hard to save the monument at the courthouse. Now, what they did was they forced through their efforts, legal efforts, they forced the parish government, which would be county governments for you common law people, but they forced the parish government to pay for the removal and the transportation and the re-erection of that monument at the Pleasant Hill battlefield site. And that battlefield site is privately owned. And we do the Battle of Pleasant Hill every year, reenact that every year. And a beautiful monument, a beautiful monument. And it's there now where it can be truly honored. Downtown Shreveport is sort of like it's approaching downtown Detroit, So it was in an area where people mostly tried to avoid anyway. So it was removed from an area where it really wasn't respected and put in an area where it can truly be honored. Now that we've got, I believe it's this spring, probably close to April, when we do the reenactment at Pleasant Hill, Taylor Camp. You need to send every elected official, moderate to conservative officials. Don't worry about the neo-Marxists. Don't even let them know what we're up to. Let them find out the hard way. But send them an invite to the Battle of Pleasant Hill. Have a picture of the monument where it is now with people standing around it with their flags, and say, see where your money, your taxpayers' money, help us save this monument. And make sure every elected official who's moderate or conservative know that, hey, look, y'all tried to shame us and destroy our heritage. We put it in a place where it can truly be celebrated by people who love it. Now, listen, Shreveport's not the only place where that happened. Tony, I bet it's happened in your state, where they've moved it from one, and we were able to relocate it to a better place. And Paul, I'm sure that's happened in South Carolina. I don't know, Mississippi may not have. You've got such a good heritage protection law, but if it is, we need two of them. All right. We need every one of these monuments that was saved. We need to brag about it and do it every year, not just once, every year. Send it to every moderate to conservative elected official. Let these elected officials know we're here, we're active, and we're protecting our heritage. We're voters, and we expect you to help us protect our heritage. But now I'm on a tangent. So we want to find out how many new monuments, how many monuments we saved, and then also how many flags we put up on interstates and parks. I mean, Virginia's got a great, once again, Virginia leading the way. You've got a great, what interstate is that park on?
81.
81, Interstate 81, and you can see it a mile off. A great, and I think they're adding to it. It's bigger now than when I was there when they first set it up. So that's happening all across the South, and we want to get a complete census of that. How many we've saved, how many we've erected, how many new flagpoles we put up on interstates and local highways. And when we have the forest monument and plaza restored, we're going to have a big party, and we're going to send out a news release. And it's not going to be just about the forest plaza. It's going to be, this is symbolic of all of these monuments we've saved, the new ones we've erected. And we're going to send this to all the media across the South. The neo-Marxists tried to destroy the Confederate heritage, and in fact, we will come back stronger than ever. The South shall rise again, folks. So it's going to be great. We'll be talking to the division commanders to get out and help us get this census taken. Very important. And with that, at 8 o'clock, I want to remind everyone, if you would like to see the Confederate Legion newsletter, go to www.kennedy.twins, one word, .com, KennedyTwins.com, and that's our website. Over on the landing page, look over on the left-hand side. There's a red column, and the very top thing is the September Confederate Legion newsletter. Click on that and download it. All right, now, Moose, you got something? Oh, excuse me, Harrison, you got something you'd like to tell us about Mississippi before we close up? Anything going on in Mississippi?
Something soon I'll be able to share. Something hopefully great. Right now, we're playing some cards close to our vest, but hopefully on either the next Commander's Comments or the one after that, I'll hopefully have some great news about what Mississippi.
Right.
I'm sure some people can figure out what I'm talking about, but I'm asking let's not comment on it. We're doing what we can to protect our Confederate heritage here in Mississippi, and I'm honored to see it happening.
That's great. That's great. And Moose, I'm sorry, Harrison, please encourage as many of your folks to sign up and make it to the training session, Confederate Legion. You don't have to be a member of the Confederate Legion to come to the training session. Hopefully when you leave there, you'll want to be a member. Paul, we got you in a little late. You got anything you'd like to add?
No, it sounds like everybody's got a good plan. Of course, we've got a few flags. I mean, we got stuff here that we've been able to pull off. I was recently informed that the SCV acquired Secession Hill in Abbeville, which is where we have the Signers Monument. The Signers Monument, of course, was those that signed the Ordinance of Secession.
Right.
And it's become something of a park. It's where it all started in South Carolina. It's also where it ended in South Carolina. It's got a rock up there, and we traded some land or something for it, but we own it now. And it's a big deal. It's a big deal.
Good. That's going on all over. Lieutenant Commander in Chief, the only really, well, you and Harrison are there. Well, I'll take that back. I'm the only unofficial person here. I'm just a regular old SCV member. But you are the Lieutenant Commander in Chief. You've got some final words you'd like to tell us and encourage the audience.
Yeah, like I said, everybody donate what you can to help this disaster going on right now. In fact, I just got a text from Jamie Graham that said, send me the information for our guys in Southwest Virginia. So, we're all working together and continue to do so. And let's get these guys straightened out here as soon as we can. And as far as new monuments and stuff, just want to let y'all know, in November, I think it's the same weekend as the Legion meeting there, your training session. The 2 new monuments are going to be dedicated at Lee Jackson Memorial Park there above Lexington. One's a South Carolina monument and a North Carolina monument. So
Wow.
There's 2 more going up to be dedicated.
Send me pictures. I'm sorry.
Yeah, send SCV chat pictures. All right. With that, I think I want to thank everyone for tuning in. I want to thank Harrison for being the MC or the producer behind the scenes. Thank Lieutenant Commander in Chief Tony Griffin for coming in, even though he's super busy at the state fair. That's wonderful. I'd rather see you at the state fair working than here with the gigo on, because I think you get a lot more accomplished for the cause where you're at the state fair. So thank you. And my gratitude extend to all the people there at the Virginia State Fair working with you on behalf of the SCV. Tell them the Kennedy brothers said high five. We appreciate them. Paul, appreciate your work. You're going to get tired of listening to the Kennedys before this 2-year term is out.
I've been tired of listening to the Kennedys for a decade now, at least. I'm just kidding. I'm always happy to hear from the Kennedys.
Yeah. Like my grandma used to say, there'll be stars in your crown and glory for what you've put up with.
I'll take it.
With that, Moose, take over. We're finished. Thank you, audience.
Good night, everybody.